Today's video is going to be how to review policy and core documents in a toxic workplace. Hi, my name is Ian Hopfe and I'm a human resources consultant. This is part 3 of my How to Fix a Toxic Workplace series. This is step 2 in the process, and this is to review your important documents. You can watch my previous videos for step 1 and an overview of the whole process. With this step, the idea is that existing policy you might have in your organization may be the root of many issues. So we need to review them. And we're going to start with the base, the root, the reason for your organization to exist. And that's to review your vision, your mission, and your values. Now, your vision is the big pie in the sky. We want to solve world hunger. That's your vision. Your mission is we will work weekly to have meals prepared for our houseless neighbors. That's your mission. That's how you're going to solve your vision. And then your values is your attitude, how you're going to do it. We're going to do it. We value trust. So if you donate to us, 90% of our money goes right into feeding people. Things like that. This is how your organization is shaped. So when you look at your vision, your mission, and your values, they should be aligned with what the organization is doing right now. Now you're going to review your strategic plan. And your strategic plan is guided almost directly by your vision, mission, and values. So the strategic plan is normally a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, or 10-year type of plan. And it states the big picture things. We will continue to run our weekly soup kitchen, but within 5 years, we want our own facility so that we can have meals for the houseless every night or every day or 3 meals a day, right? So it shows this progression of your strategic plan. The strategic plan is normally created by the board of directors or the ownership of the organization or the business. And this is something that you always reference, you go back to with everything you do in the organization. Are we actioning steps that are taking us to our goals and our strategic plan? Moving on, you have to review the operational plan. And the operational plan is directly connected to the strategic plan. The operational plan is the tactics and actions needed to get to those strategic plan. So now you have a 5-year plan that says we want our own facility so we can have meals every day. So the operation plan says we will begin fundraising for this new facility. And these are the possible fundraising avenues we will address. And when we get to this amount of money, we will begin the development process. And these are the steps we will take to develop this project. So each thing kind of has what you're going to do. It's more day to day. It's, we got to make fundraising calls. We're making fundraising calls to people in our city. So it means we got to hire staff to do fundraising calls. Right? So that it helps you operationally. Almost on a daily basis, you can go back and say, what are we doing? Now you want to review your organizational structure. This is handy. It visually tells you what's going on in your organization, so it may be easier for you to understand. If your organization needs to do a bunch of fundraising, why don't you have more fundraising staff? And why do you have a bunch of staff that are, doing other things that aren't directly related to the operational plan? You can look at it and say, oh, we're heavy here. We need more people here. So again, and we bring the organizational structure back to the operational plan, to the strategic plan, to the vision, mission, and values, because maybe we've gone astray. Maybe we've got a department that's been created, even though it might seem beneficial for the organization, it might go directly against our vision, mission, and values. Or it might be going to a short-term goal that we didn't address in the strategic plan. Now you want to review your HR strategy plan. Now, most organizations aren't going to have an HR strategy plan, but you're creating this directly from the operational plan and the strategic plan. Now your HR department, if you have an HR department, has their goals. They know they need so many salespeople. They need so many people to volunteer. They need people in the back office. And they know that they've got to keep these ratios to a certain number. So that's what they're working towards. It might be just the owner saying, I need another salesperson because we're not making enough sales. Right? It could be that easy. It could be a massive document that your HR director or HR manager is dealing with on a daily basis, especially when you get to an organization that's over 75 employees. That's when an HR strategy plan is helpful because there's just so many moving parts. Next, you want to review the HR policy / handbook, employee handbook. A good employee handbook is going to be between 5 and 10 pages long. The smaller, the better. If you have an employee handbook that's 20 plus pages, that's a red flag that something is seriously wrong within the organization. So, that's the first thing you notice right away. If there's something bad going on or the organization is toxic, then management is constantly, as soon as something comes up, even though it came up one time and it was the first time it came up, they demand HR create a new policy. And this is not the way to go. This is bad. So you end up with this very large, inflated policy handbook. And the bigger it gets, the less the employees will read it ahead of time, the less the employees will use it as a tool. It becomes an emergency document. And you don't want it to be an emergency document. So something happened. Oh my God, let's go to the policy handbook and find out what's going on. When the idea is, oh, I read the policy handbook and we shouldn't be doing that. Or this can prevent us from creating problems down the road. Right? That's what the policy handbook is supposed to be for. It's prevention, not emergency situations and mopping up the mess afterwards. The last thing you want to review is the pay grid. Every organization should have a pay grid for every job type or every job position, because it helps the organization stay on budget, so you can plan ahead. You don't just look at what people are making now, but that position, you have a budget between this number and this number, so you're going to budget for the high number every time. And it doesn't matter what the employee is making in here. If they're making less than the budget, well, you get a surplus at the end of the year. The other reason is it's good during the negotiations when you're hiring new employees. Every employee has the right to negotiate their wages. And whether or not you accept that, that's your prerogative. But it's nice to be able to say, this position pays between this amount and this amount, and your wage will be based on your experience in there. That's on the job ad. And if an employee comes back and says, oh, I want more than that, I want twice that, or I want 10% over that, it gives you a plausible way to say, I'm sorry, that's not in our budget. This is what we have. And you can counteroffer with something in the budget based on their experience. And if they don't accept it, that's fine. But now you've got some muscle, so to speak, so you don't feel guilty about not giving someone a higher wage, or you're not tempted to say, oh, that's a really great employee, so I really want that employee. It keeps you in check so that you can say, oh, okay, I lost that one, but I kept within my budget. I didn't endanger my organization. The next video is going to be analysis and plan when you bring all this together, so don't miss out on that. And if you are experiencing a toxic work environment or toxic workplace, I invite you to join our new community called Toxic Workplace Support, and the link is in the description below. You can share stories. There's courses I'm developing for management, and there's some Indigenous EDI courses in there, Indigenous history in Canada, and things like that that'll help your organization become a little more Truth and Reconciliation, TRC, compliant to the 94 calls to action. For business, you want to look at call to action number 92. That's directly for businesses. So you can come and you can learn more about all that. If you don't have a toxic work environment, that's great too. Maybe you're an HR expert and you want to come join us and share some of your experience. That would be fantastic too. As always, thanks for watching. Like this video. Subscribe to my channel if you want. And if you got follow-up questions, I'm happy to try to answer. Put them in the comments. Okay, thanks. Bye.